This is the story of our engagement. Right now, we are in my parents' backyard, soon to be her parents. Um, this right now, what you are looking at, is a tree. It's, I believe, a maple tree,
A blazing fiery maple, something like that.
something like that. Anyway, it's a tree we planted shortly after our engagement that we intend to have it grow with our relationship as it grows. Something that just signifies our relationship. This is just a brief story of how I proposed and how that whole experience was. This is where we did it, right here. This is actually not far at all. It's probably within about 15, 20 feet from the spot that I actually proposed. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the day that I was proposed to, I also graduated, and I was very tired after the long journey back to Tyler. And Will over here was acting a little funny. He was a little unfocused, like he was in deep thought sometimes. The meal at lunchtime and at dinner, we did a big prayer and had everybody come together, and he sat down at the meal and not a minute later asked, "Did we pray?" And he had set up the engagement stuff outside, and anyways, he got irritated his mom about wanting to eat outside and whispered something to her, and I was just a little bit suspicious. And so he actually took me on a late night walk, which I didn't really want to go on. And he came back, and I closed my eyes. He made me close my eyes, and he walked me into the backyard where I was set down on a comfy blanket, which was nice. And then he proceeded to read me a 4-page letter and about our love for each other. It was very sappy because he's sappy. And then he asked me, he told me to turn around, and I turned around and there was this fire going and these words saying, "Will you marry me?" And I turned back around and he had the ring out and I said yes.
She said yes. For me, whenever I was trying to decide how I wanted to pop the question, I didn't just want to do a standard, get on one knee, propose, and that's it. I want to do something that was a little bit memorable. So I asked one of my friends. I said, I know she really loves nature, and what do you think? Do you have any ideas? And he just said, "Oh, well, where's somewhere you've been multiple times?" And I said, "Well, I thought, I know I've been in my parents' backyard with her multiple times. We go back and look up at the stars because you can't see them in Dallas. There's so much noise. You can't hear any nature. You can't see the stars. There's too much light." And that was the plan. I wanted to do it in some way that would be memorable. So I put some stakes in the ground. I put a pole across from all those, and then hung the letters, "Will you marry me?" and painted them neon pink. Spent a whole weekend doing that. The whole weekend before I proposed, I spent doing that, preparing this whole ordeal. And then I put a brush fire underneath and got my dad to pour some gasoline on it when Katie and I went on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
And we came back. My dad lit the fire when I gave him the cue. When she turned around, it said, "Will you marry me?" I remember at first the fire wasn't extremely big, and when she first looked at it, she looked and said, "Will you marry me?" That's what she said. She said, "Yes, of course I will." I imagine I was a little bit I was a little bit nervous that whole day because I was proposing. I wanted everything to go perfect, and my mom had even suggested that we eat on the back porch, which you'd be able to see the sign from there. And I had immediately said no to that. And Katie just noticed some things that are a little bit funny to her, I guess.
Yeah, I did.
And but I popped the question, gave her the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and we are now an engaged couple as of May 10th.
Soon to be married. And that is our story.